And we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to His Point Nervy Podcast, episode 25. Today, we're going to talk about someone's celebration. It's an anniversary, it's a dark anniversary. And with that dark anniversary, a lot of stuff has happened around it, as pretty much with the whole entire fucking time that he's been in office. We're talking about the president. I won't say his name because I don't want to say his name because I'm a curse more. And Katina is trying to get me to not curse because her church people are watching. So church people, for curse, sorry. You know, but you should be cursing too. You know, the Lord understands. Trust me on this one. Anyway, so hello to the lovely co-host Katina.
Hello, everybody.
And so, which one do you want to start with first?
I say, well, which one do you think is going to take the least amount of time to talk about?
Shit, none.
Okay.
I could tell you what matters the least.
All right.
That whole Betsy DeVos. That that don't matter least. God damn it! All of these are gonna piss me the. I almost cursed. All of these are going to enrage me. So let's go recent, which is, of course, the firing of FBI agent James Comey. I'm sure everybody's heard by now. Trump, out of nowhere, decided to fire the guy who he applauded when he was going after Hillary Clinton and was putting out all this information about her emails, and she might be possibly up to something, and that they were going to investigate her. You know what Trump's campaign slogan was. He was going to put her in office. Crooked Hillary, blah 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 blah. Well, he got elected, and then all of a sudden, the intelligence, community started finding information that Russia possibly tampered in the election. Well, that set him on edge. The information got so big that the FBI decided, you know what, we need to investigate this. So Comey announced an investigation. Well, it's kind of weird that as the investigation ramped up, and that former national security, was she national security, or was she head of national security? I think she was, right?
Who?
Yates, Patricia Yates. Remember the lady he fired?
Yeah, the one that was investigating him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, she's been testifying in front of Congress. Sally Yates. Sorry, I said Patricia. Sally Yates has been testifying in front of Congress.
Sally Yates is the former Attorney General.
Yeah, former Attorney General. That's the person who it is. She's been talking about how Trump was already warned about certain things, including Flynn, who had been in cahoots with the Russians, apparently. But he never heeded the warning because he thought that Obama was up to something when Obama told him, you probably don't want to trust this guy because this guy has done some shady stuff over the years. So you have that on the table. You have Comey apparently finding some new information that he was going to bring out. All of this culminated into Comey getting fired. But the reasoning is the thing that's funny to me. Did you see the reason?
Let me see. When I was reading the news article, I want to say that he agreed with Sessions and somebody else's recommendation that he be fired.
Yeah, the deputy attorney general, the second in command. But you saw their reasonings, right?
No.
So basically, part of the reason why they recommended that he be fired was they thought that what he did with the Hillary Clinton investigation and how he handled it by exposing her publicly the way he did, um, and by giving the information before the election, they thought that was irresponsible of him.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And that they didn't think that was that was something that an FBI director should be doing. And so that was part of the reason they felt like that was part of the reason why he showed himself not to be someone that they felt should be leading the FBI with behavior like that.
Okay, so wait a minute. He's being fired for being petty, which this administration is known to be, hence one of our other topics.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, well, hey, listen. I'm just making sure that we're on.
Yeah, he's like, you were wrong for what you did to kill Hillary, basically, is what he said.
So basically, they're telling him he's wrong for helping them win the election?
Pretty much.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to make sure we're all on the same page here.
Yeah. Of course, it wasn't worded like that, but if anybody...
But was he not
pretty much put two and two together and make four? It's like, oh.
But was he not applauded for that when it actually happened? Like, was he not? I mean,
change of heart. I mean, since it wasn't Trump who made the suggestion, it absolves Trump.
Oh.
Or at least he probably thinks it does, because that was the Attorney General who told him, no, he was wrong. You need to get rid of him. So the axe probably is going to, any criticism made, I guess, is supposed to fall on Sessions and his assistant Attorney General for making the decision. Because we know Trump can't take responsibility for shit.
Of course not. So is it fair to say that the three people that he fired Sally Yates, he fired Preet Bharara, I think I'm saying that name correctly, the former U.S. attorney, and James Comey. So he's fired three people that were all investigating him. Correct?
Or had, information that could help in things like that. Yeah, pretty much. Because remember, Yates, his big issue with her was how much she was opposed against that directive.
And right. Her thing was that
she initiated, like, pretty much kind of helped initiate them to start tearing into the ban that he put for certain countries and all of that.
Right. And what I love or still love about her is the fact that in her Senate hearings, she put Ted Cruz in his place. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I haven't seen the video, but I've heard it was pretty funny.
Well, he tried to use, no offense, Bible thumpers, but it's kind of like using a part of the Bible to prove your point, but then not giving the full picture. Kind of like when someone says the Bible verse about wives submit to your husband, but they leave out everything else about that. That's what Ted Cruz did. And what Miss Yates did was she brought back everything else. Because I want to say one of his pointed questions was, in the existence of her office, why hasn't anybody else done it? Or has she ever heard of anybody else? And she was like, no, but then I've also never heard of XYZ. It was a beautiful thing. You just got to watch it.
Yeah, I heard he pretty much was just quieted by the end of it all. Okay. And rightfully so, because let's be real, the whole thing was very poorly done. But of course they can't acknowledge that. So you have that. So we have no FBI director. Of course, the whole intelligence community is up in arms.
No, no,
FBI is in
no.
disarray because they need to find someone quickly because they're in the middle of an investigation.
He
He's pretty
announced
much
an
blown this
interim.
investigation into chaos, and they have other things going on too. I mean, he effectively has taken um, a U.S. protection agency and made them kind of ineffectual, but not effective by not having leadership to help, you know, take care of things. FBI does a lot of things for this country, and without somebody to give the final say, it's like, because who do they go to? Or I'm assuming they got to go to Sessions now.
Well, that's a
Is
scary
that who it
thought.
is? That's what I'm saying. Who do they directly report to, or is it the deputy director? Is he running things? It's like, what's the breakdown? And I'm curious to see just how much stuff gets done and what happens. But as far as the Russian thing is, good job. You've pretty much slowed that down, so you don't have to worry about that for a couple of weeks. Hopefully for him, I guess that's how he's thinking. Like, this will make them stop, or this will scare whoever's next not to do anything. Just pretty sad.
Beyond sad, but hey, welcome to America.
Mm. Speaking of sad, and I mentioned her before, she is sad. She's pretty goddamn sad. She's stupid too. Um, and I'm kind of pissed because you told me about it. You go ahead and talk and pretty much explain what happened, because I still can't believe they did that.
You can't believe that? Wait a minute. What year are you living in? Because certainly, if America can elect Trump, certainly you can believe that Bethune-Cookman College decided, or Bethune-Cookman University decided that, hey, we're going to do something that is beyond dumb, but whatever. Betsy DeVos, we're going to invite her to our commencement. Not only are we going to invite her, but we're also going to give her the honor and the privilege of being our speaker. So the students, rightfully so, were upset. I haven't read any articles or talked to any alumni that said that the faculty felt any particular way, one way or another. But the students did not want her there. There were online petitions. I know because I signed one. There were letters sent. There were pleas made. There were meetings held. And still today, she was there. I can't say for certain how many people did not show up, but what I can say is that the people that did show up, there was a limited number of those students that actually stood up and turned their back to her while she was speaking. And I responded on one of my social media accounts, and I said that what I would have loved to have seen was those students that did attend to stand up, turn their backs to her. I would have wanted to see more of them stand. And then I also would have wanted to see parents, family, friends, guests that were there to stand up and turn their backs as well. It was stated, and I don't know if the president said it during the commencement or if it was like a threat beforehand. But essentially, if you guys keep going against her, then we'll just mail you your diplomas. And me being the rebel that I am, I would have went, I would have stood up, I would have turned my back. And hey, you don't have to hand me my diploma, but you definitely cannot hold it hostage. So they would have gotten them anyways. But I think that it sent a stronger message to actually be there in attendance so that you could see that I'm not just going to not come to my commencement, because there may have been other parts of the commencement, other speakers that they genuinely wanted to see. Maybe the class president, maybe some faculty, maybe some faculty advisors that were there. But I mean, I still would have went just to turn my back to her, just to show that this is not something that I'm in agreement with. And not only am I going to come, but I'm going to come so that you can see who it is that is opposing the decision. Now, some people say that the president of the college has dreams of being in the White House. And that is why when he invited her into, he did not back down. I think it was a poor choice.
Hey, be in the White House doing what?
I don't know. Maybe he wants to be the lead usher. I don't know. Because you know they
Did
just
he see
fired
the
the lead
help
usher.
and he had aspirations and dreams of that or something?
That's what I heard. I mean, I don't know because I don't know the man. I just think that this is a stupid move. I think that it is sad that she had the privilege and the honor to be there. I think that at the end of the day, the students have a right to be upset. So you're going to charge me tuition fees, books time, sweat, tears, late nights, early mornings, whatever it took to get me to this point. And you're going to have her up there. Why? Not only that, look at the history of the school. Really? If you don't want to look at the history of the school, look at the latest move by the White House and the funding of historically Black colleges and universities.
Okay.
So
I guess I should go, huh?
oh, here we go. Hit it.
Yeah, here we go, people. Okay. So
I knew it.
I'm just gonna say this. If you are a God-fearing church person, one, I'm sorry. Two, I warn you. Give yourself about 10 to 15 minutes. Skip ahead because it's go time. And keep in mind, this is probably just the first of two things that are going to be go time. So, but I'm going to warn you so you can know to skip ahead, okay? Because I want to be respectful, you know. Yeah, I'm not trying to, you know, offend you or anything. So please, people, give yourself about 15 minutes to skip ahead. Hopefully, I will be calm. Okay, so I'm gonna start off calm by playing devil's advocate, sort of, kind of. Now, the best thing I could say about the situation is that perhaps the booing should not have been done. I can see people taking offense with that and having an issue with them getting up and booing her during the speech because she was a guest and they didn't have to do that. I guess that's about the length of my, you know, my, how can I say this? That's all as far as I'm going to go in defense of this, because the flip side is this. Okay. Now, even if we remove the fact that this fool of a woman who's never in her life done anything in education other than pay for her fucking school for her children, you know, private schools and shit like that. That's her breadth of knowledge of school. I pay for my kids' education. So therefore, I clearly must know how to educate people. Cause what the fuck? I have no clue how that translates. She comes up with this plan that they're trying to implement where they're going to take all school funding away and privatize school. School is now, you know, becoming 100% a business. It's not a privilege. It's not, you know, a right. It's not something that helps the country to put out intelligent people who are able to do the jobs that we need to carry on the future, to expand the country's prosperity and all that. No. You either have the money to pay for school in her eyes, or you don't get educated. Because that's how education should work for them. So, this is the person that you want, first of all, up there, especially in a black college, a college that where she said was an example of choice, wasn't an example of choice. It was an example of when we didn't have a choice, we had to make one. We had to fight, scrap, claw to find a way to educate ourselves as African Americans in the country that didn't want us in their schools, that segregated us, that put us in facilities that were underfunded, that had less materials, that weren't recognized. I mean, even the colleges had to fight for accreditation. I can't say the word because I'm mad, but they had to fight for accreditation. So her lack of knowledge and not realizing this is what she was talking about, that should have sent, clue one, that this is probably not a person that I want speaking in front of a group of graduating African Americans. Now, and there are other races that attend historically black colleges. It's always has been. Oh, that's fine, but this is a predominantly black school with predominantly black students who she pretty much offended. So you're going to put this figure in there to not only be in the school's ceremony for graduation, but you're going to have that chick talk to these kids. That's very disrespectful of whoever it was who sat down on the governing board of the school and decided this was a good thing. Whoever did this, I need to know what the fuck your motivation really was. Be honest. How much money did she offer you? What is the benefit that the school is going to get? Clearly, there's some kickback or something. And it may be, like you said, the dumb fuck probably trying to be in the White House and think this is going to curry favor. Mind you, we've all seen what has happened to African Americans over the last 6 months that decided they were going to try to, quote unquote, reach out and, try to extend an olive branch to this fucking, I guess we call it an administration. It's actually an abomination, to be quite honest. But we've seen all what happened to them. They were ignored. They were marginalized. They're pretty much clowned, made fools of. Felt stupid in the end because he doesn't give two fucks about you. He doesn't give two fucks about most of the people in his own goddamn race unless they got money. So why the fuck you think he's going to give a fuck about you? He don't care about his own. Come on. Smarten up, people. And the thing is, if I was that student, I would be highly fucking pissed that this is what you want to turn a huge moment in my life. This is a huge moment in people's lives. Getting your degree, graduating from college, taking the next step, moving on towards a big career. Like you said, you fought 4 years, spent thousands of dollars, spent hundreds of hours working on things, taking all these classes, trying to make sure that you passed each class and was able to get to this moment. And your school president decides to do this for whatever opportunistic reason he had and make a mockery of your day. This was supposed to be their day, their celebration. He's not dumb. He knows how many people feel about her in the school. Why would you do that to people and make them uncomfortable? and put her in an uncomfortable situation. If you're trying to like, get in good with her, why would you invite her there, making her think it's all good? People want her there, and then this happens. You done fucked up twice because you now got the alumni looking at you suspect. You have your current students looking at you suspect. The parents are enraged, and she's probably pissed at you, and she's not going to want to fuck with you because you made a fool of her. So what benefit was this? It's just the whole situation was just dumb, and threatening students, talking about we'll mail you your diploma. I would have got up and be like, you know what, guys, he gonna mail all of us our goddamn diplomas, and hopefully she's gonna give him whatever money she offered him to pay for the postage. Because we out of here. I'm not sitting here and having you like, one, you already ruined my moment. Two, you come up here and threaten me after I paid your organization for that. I paid for the ceremony. I paid for that degree. Who the fuck are you to tell me I can't get my shit right now? You got me fucked up. So nah. I would have like fucking either walked on him, or he'd be wishing he never said that, because it would get serious after that. That was just dumb of him. He's just dumb all around, and he really, 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 I don't know again what his motivation was, but he really needs to rethink that and figure something out, because he ain't gonna have a job soon. I have a feeling this guy's not gonna be working soon. And I can't say that I have any sympathy for him, because he just did one of the dumbest things you could ever do. I'm sorry. And it's not even about not liking her or not liking the administration. It's just like, you should know the situation. You should know the temperature of the room. You should understand what's going on around you and make smarter decisions. You could have been her, like, with all due respect, I know you may want to do this, but it doesn't look like people are comfortable with it. So while I appreciate you wanting to do this, I have to decline because I don't need the trouble. And that's it. And she would have had to understand. If she didn't understand, well, fuck her. Nobody likes her anyway. So it wasn't going to be no sweat off your brow. It was just dumb. And I'm done. How long was that? Like an hour or something?
No.
I'm tired. I'm sleepy.
Let me just circle back around to something that you said. You said that the booing, that you felt like that maybe that wasn't what they needed to do. I'm conflicted. I'm not conflicted with that.
Trust me when I say this. I do that to try to extend a devil's advocate thing. I'm not convicted. It is not something that I'm convicted to, because me personally, it probably would, like you said, it wouldn't have been just born. I would have been like, who let this bitch up here?
Well, see, the only issue that I have with they should have been respectful and they shouldn't have booed, and she's a guest. Okay, I completely get that. But on the flip side of that, what guest do you know is going to go to someone's house that they know that they're not invited to, that the majority of people don't want them there? Me personally, I don't go to someone's house unless I'm invited. I don't invite myself. I don't do any of that. So in a sense, she is going to their house.
Yeah.
And to me, if we're going to use the analogy of a house, it's kind of like daddy wants her to come visit. So the kids don't have a say. And then we're all forced to sit at the dinner table with her and have a meal and listen to her brag and boast. She, during her confirmation hearings, she's never taken out a student loan. Her children's never taken out a student loan. She doesn't know what the process is. She's never had to deal with not being able to pay for college. Her experience is not relevant to me. She doesn't relate. I would have rather seen them invite someone like UAPB, the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. This year, Felicia Rashad is the commencement speaker, or was. I don't know if they've had their commencement ceremonies yet. But why jump into the fray? What was the benefit? What was the point? You've ruined the day by I can't think of anything that this lady has said or done that would make any sense in her going to a college where students receive financial aid for any reason, honestly. And not only that, but I would really hate it even more if we were to find out that like she paid to come there. Oh, that would make it so much worse.
There has to be some motivation other than him trying to get in good with them, because again, I'm going to assume that since you're the president of a university, that you're not a stupid person. Maybe you lack some type of, social awareness, but you're not a stupid person.
I don't know. I know some folks that are highly educated that are dumb. Like,
maybe that's it. Like, I just feel like there's some type of agenda, some plan, something tied into this situation that I don't know.
My goodness.
They need to launch an investigation on him and figure out what was his motivations, because he didn't have to turn them down when they told him that they didn't want her there. He should have listened to him.
He could have backtracked, definitely.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just the scandal, for lack of a better word, behind it if she paid him, or if there's like some type of motive behind it? Okay, if he wants to be in the White House working with the Trump administration or in some capacity, that's already bad enough that you're going to use this to potentially be a stepping stone into getting into the position that you want. But to find out that she paid him because, well, she just wanted to go and she wanted to. I mean,
it's just very odd. Like, the whole situation, again, going back to the things that she said about historic Black colleges and the meeting that Trump had with all of the leaders of the historic Black colleges, all the missteps that they've made with that community, all of a sudden now it's all good that she comes around. It's like you're that invited. His explanation of it didn't even make sense. It's like, dude, you should have, if this was something that you wanted to do to quote unquote give her a chance to make amends, this isn't the way. You don't just force her in a position like this. Again, this is someone else's moment. You have to, you have to make sure that at the end of the day, this thing goes off well for those students, because this is their day. It's not an opportunity for a photo op or anything like that. It shouldn't have been used for that. And you don't pick your commencement speakers for that reason. There are times and places that you could have did. You could have had her set up a town hall type of situation if you wanted to have her talk to your community. Actually have her speak with them, not speak at them, if she's going to make amends. Telling me like congratulations, that's not making amends. What does that do to mend any fences? How about you sit down and have a conversation with me and let me explain to you why what you said was wrong? She ain't do that. She did not do that at all. So what was this going to do to help? Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at
What the
all.
hell? To make amends. So you mean, okay, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that she's going to make amends for what? For what her boss is now planning or trying to do as far as the funding of HBCUs? Is she trying to make amends for paying for her position in this administration? Is she trying to make amends for decimating our system of education in the future? Because that's what she's doing. Make amends for what?
Yeah, I mean, if that comment was that way, that heavy, again, talk to me. Have a conversation. You should have called her and had a conversation.
Well,
like he should have called her. If he really was that pressed to like do that, why did he just have a conversation with her? He ain't have to invite her to that thing.
I'm curious to know if he was present during the meeting that number 45, because I refuse to call him.
I'm pretty sure he was one of them that was there.
I wonder if this meeting, I mean, not meeting, but I wonder if this commencement address appointment was started from that meeting. Like,
But see, that's the thing. In the meeting, a couple of the presidents admitted he didn't really talk with them. He talked at them. He mentioned some things. It was short, brief. They came in, they spoke, and they left. It wasn't like it was an engaging conversation between them to discuss education. No, it was a photo op. So maybe he went out of his way to set something up, trying to be opportunistic.
I can see that. Not necessarily for him, because I don't know anything about him. The only thing that I know is one of my friends is an alumni there, and he was very disheartened and very disappointed in their president making that decision. To me, the best way to handle this would have been, okay, I want her for whatever his reason was. I want to hear, okay, once the students started being like, I don't know, no, we don't want to hear, he could have easily backtracked and said, like you said, okay, instead of the commencement address, what I would like is for next semester, having her come in, have a town hall meeting, we discuss some things, and then maybe, just maybe, give her the opportunity to speak. I'm not saying that myself as a student would have even showed up to the meeting, or maybe I would have, because I would have had questions that I wanted her to answer, and I would have listened with an open mind, but I would have had the expectation that I may come away from this meeting more ticked off than when I came to the meeting. And that would have been the best way. He could have backtracked. He could have invited her at a separate time if that's what his heart was just set on. I mean, as a parent, so we're spending money to see someone that we don't even want to see. We're spending money to hear from someone that we don't even want to hear from. That's ridiculous.
Pretty much. Very ridiculous. I just don't honestly get the like what the end game is going to be, but maybe we'll see it soon. Maybe they're about to get a couple of new buildings, and they're getting federal funding. Favored for federal
funding. They're trying to cut it and change it.
I know, and that's the thing. That's why it's like I just really don't understand what was the end game. What was the benefit? Of this? even if it wasn't the financial thing, the opportunity wasn't there. It was a forced opportunity. And
But
I feel
why
bad
did you
for everybody
force it?
involved in the thing because it's like, again, graduation is such an important moment in your life.
Yes.
Your friends, your family there, and all this. And this is the type of situation you had to, even if you were somebody who weren't born or anything, who had no opinion, you had to feel fucking awful that you had to sit through like some shenanigans like that. It's like, oh my god, like I'm just trying to like have my moment, and this, the damn shame.
I probably um I don't know how I would have felt actually. I probably would have been sitting there infuriated that this is being pushed upon me. One thing that I tell people all the time is never take away my choice. Doesn't matter what my choice is, but never take give me the choice. Give me the choice to deal with you or not deal with you. Give me the choice to go left or go right. Give me the choice to eat this or that. Don't take away my choice. Because once you take away my choice, you've taken away my voice. And nobody should ever have their voice taken away, even if we don't agree with that person.
Yeah.
Case in point, I totally do not agree. There's not anything that 45 has done thus far that I agree with. Nothing.
It's hard to find. And
I mean, granted, I don't know
again,
everything
to
that
be
they've
fair,
done.
again, you don't want your president to fail and flop and flounder. Because if he fails, flops, flounders, all of that, guess who suffers?
We do.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
So you would like to see, and that was one of the things that I was trying to hope for, was that we would see this guy mature, maybe that he will figure out, maybe I need to get the right people around me, surround myself with a better, group, and make a concerted effort to do things that will help this country, not only just help it as far as regulations, but to heal it, because we're in a really messed up state right now. There's a huge divide through this whole country that's been growing since he's been elected. Uh, Old habits are starting to creep back into the fabric of this country, or at least I should say not creep back in, because most of them are already there, but they're coming back to the forefront. Things that you shouldn't have to deal with, the racism, sexism, all the things that you know were prevalent and considered social standards back in the day. Now it's like they're trying to rise back up, and it's like, what are you doing? You're not even helping. If anything, you're making situations worse with your tweets and stuff like that. It's just sad. It's very.
Can
I
you
don't get
imagine being part of the faculty and staff that did not want her there, but this is your job.
it. Right.
So we all do things sometimes that we don't want to do. So can you imagine being one of them? Man, whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
No way that I would have wanted to be one of them.
Yeah. I couldn't. Well, moving on. Which do you want to do next?
Hmm.
You haven't had a miserable show like this in a while, by the way.
What?
You haven't had a miserable show like this in a while.
I'm not miserable. I'm happy.
These topics are miserable.
Oh, definitely. You pick one because they're all going to tick you off.
And yeah, they pretty much are. Now I know alcohol, so that's not good. Well, let's talk about the. Let me see what his position is officially, other than Jackass.
Who?
Um, the one of the press members for Donald Trump decided to tweet out about how he has a video of
Mm,
Hillary Clinton calling and conceding the election in a conversation to Kellyanne Conway. And because it's the 6 month anniversary of Trump's victory, he feels like that he should possibly um, publish this. Yeah, his social media director, that's what it is. He says that he's probably going to publish the video of her conceding. I'm
why?
not sure.
Why?
Yeah.
How petty can you be? Like, this administration, everything about it is Twilight Zone-ish. What other candidate has released video of them receiving the other candidate's concession speech? Where?
I'll do you one better. What president do you know has to keep reminding people, hey, I won? You know I won, right? I kicked their ass. Yeah, I won. Because I won. I won. I'm the like he's obsessed with making sure that we know that he's won.
He's insecure. He's petty. He is delusional. Listen, he's a negative vibe all around. I bet that there were people that when he was elected, they're like, ooh, thank God I don't have to see him anymore. Thank God I don't have to deal with him every day anymore. Because he is, if he was that great, his wife wouldn't be in New York. And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Dude, what other sitting president has ever been separated from their family like this?
Traditionally, they've all lived, unless there was something that was happening, like a war going on, which we haven't had in the United States during the presidency. Even then, I don't think it happened. I want to say even then, like Lincoln's family stayed with him, or what's his name, Dolly Madison. I don't think she decided to leave while the War of 1812 was going on.
Since he's draining the swamp, I'd like to know what swamp. His GPS and our GPS is certainly not giving us the same destination.
Yeah, no, he hasn't really drained anything.
Like, his was set for Pennsylvania Road, and ours was set for Pennsylvania Avenue. So, like, we're in two different destinations. We're in two different directions. And like I said before, I sincerely wanted him to prove me wrong, as well as millions of other people. I wanted him to get in there and be like, you know what? That was all rhetoric. These are the policies, and I'm willing to work with previous presidents, and because nobody's held this position other than 44 other people. So, and he doesn't even have 44 people to go and talk to. He has what, 5? 4, 5? How many living presidents are there?
How many living presidents have you seen? You got Clinton, Obama, Carter.
Okay.
Bush,
both Bushes.
Mm-hmm. That's 5.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You have 5 living previous employees of that position. 5. Okay. One of them, and I'm not going to call no names, one of them, I would not have him to lead me out of a Cracker Jack box.
I would call him, and I'm going to say his name. Leave that man alone. He may be a dullard, but he's had experience, okay? Say what you will about GW, but at least he's been there. So he could at least give you some insight of what goes on. For some, especially when it comes from the perspective of someone who, generally speaking, he was the last president that everybody scratched their heads when he got elected and asked what it was that he's done to qualify him to lead a nation.
Right.
So at least he can have some perspective on how to handle it. Because and I know people hate Bush, but give credit where credit's due. For someone who caught as much flack as he did, he held up to it gracefully, and he took it in stride. He even kind of took some of it and took to some of the jokes.
Yeah,
as well. He didn't come out. He wasn't some pissy little kid who jumped on Twitter screaming fake news, fake news, fake news, and poking at people and trying to bully people around. He did his thing. He held the office with as much respect and dignity as he could.
Okay, fine.
So
then we'll give him.
He could have at least taught this man how to fucking act like a goddamn adult and bear up to.
Okay, fine. Shit. So he can go to him, but he's not the first choice. So
no, I'm not saying not the first choice, but I'm just saying
that one completely knocked out. Even if he didn't want to go to,
he wasn't going to go to Obama. We all know he wasn't never going to.
Okay, fine. So even if he didn't want to go to President Obama, okay, you still have 3 people. Yeah. Even if you did, wait a minute. And even if you didn't want to go to Clinton, that still leaves 2.
He couldn't go to Clinton because he probably gets punched.
Right. So you still have 2. 2 presidents.
Yeah, you have Carter, you have
the first Bush. Yeah. So you have 2 people that you can go to. I bet you his ego would not allow him to call anybody. And that's what's screwing us up. I mean, mind you, I talk to people and deal with people, and they have huge egos. I've even been told that when you position yourself to where you've bruised someone's ego, that's worse than hurting their feelings, cutting them, or whatever. Because some people's egos are just that huge.
Yeah.
But come on, dude, you are in the most powerful position in the world. So you mean to tell me that you can't let your pride and your ego just sit over here for a moment? For a moment. He's not even trying to give us the appearance that he's trying to do anything remotely right. He's just like, F it, I'm here. Let me cause as much chaos as I possibly can. Because eventually he's going to be impeached. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I still say
he's not going to be impeached. He's going to quit.
I think he's going to be impeached.
No, I think he's going to tap out before they can even.
I don't think so. And the reason that I don't think so is because of his ego. But
he'll find a way to gloss his ego.
Well, I don't know, but I want him impeached. That's my desire. But then also, there was an article, I don't know if you've seen it or not, I think it was in the Washington Post, maybe USA Today, where he said that being president was harder than he thought.
Yeah, no, he said it on TV. He actually said it in an interview. I think it was a Fox interview. He was like, yeah, this is harder than he even said during that interview, he's never worked in his life. He said that.
What's the comedian's name with the tattoo right here? D something. DC Young Fly. Is that him? Is that his name?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what he says, but That right there, boom, hit it. That. That.
You should say what he says.
I'm not going to say what he says.
Yeah, we could put a disclaimer up so the church people won't be mad.
No.
You sure?
No, I'm a changed woman. I'm doing better.
Oh, I guess we now know what our next subject is.
What?
The lies we tell.
I got a couple of guests for that show. How about that?
That's fine. That would be awesome.
I'm joking.
Talk about the lies.
I'm joking. But I mean, hey, on my Facebook post yesterday, I said, the one thing that I hate is to wake up. What did I say? What did I say? Because it was good. I liked it. It was good.
Now she's looking through her Facebook.
I am.
Quote.
I am. Because, let's see, that's about it. Oh, I said, there is nothing I hate more than to wake up to a lie.
Nah, you can't live in this country.
Hashtag be humble. Hashtag I just act like I believe you.
Hashtag whatever. Whatever. So yeah, he pretty much hasn't had any growth. But now, again, going back to GW, even he kind of showed a little bit of growth, at least in giving off the demeanor that, hey, I'm the president. This man right here, he just, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with him. Like, seriously. He needs to get off the cocaine. Maybe he'll think straight. I don't know. Moving on. So, healthcare, or do you want to talk about the shooting? The shooting's kind of old, so it's healthcare, but they're both equally disheartening.
The shooting is...
And for those who don't know what we're talking about, the shooting of the 15-year-old kid in Texas.
Jordan Edwards.
I forgot the last name. Thank you. Jordan Edwards says he was coming from a party by a cop who was fired. I guess they figured that was going to mitigate the situation.
No, he was fired and arrested.
Yeah.
And
then, that's nice and all. But here's the problem with situation.
How that mean when there's a conviction?
Exactly. Because we've had so many cop shootings where they're just suspended. We've had a couple where they were fired. And charges have been, given. Remember here in this area in Baltimore, those 5 cops got arrested. The district attorney did everything she could to get a conviction, and the jury let them all off. And then she subsequently ended up getting fired for prosecuting them. So, it's not a guarantee, because we've seen this shit happen way too many times before, where they've just like no jury would convict these guys when they're blatantly, clearly did this. And I feel bad, like, because they didn't. He didn't have to do that. What? I don't get it. Why are these cops so poorly trained in this country? And just think, they repealed the rule where the police informant has to be accountable to inquiries and investigations by the U.S. government. Remember, that was one of the executive orders that Trump signed in. He softened the government stance on going after police departments for their issues.
My thoughts on the whole situation is this. I am so fearful when my kids are in the car and they drive off. I'm fearful when I get in the car and I see a police officer behind me, and I should not feel that way. So we live in a small town, and I say a small town is considered a city, but it's still a town. Like literally, there are one, two. Well, now we have three, four grocery stores. One of which is Walmart. So I don't really consider that a grocery store. Um, we have one movie theater. We have like our community is growing. However, it's beyond crazy that I would even have this fear. However, and it angers me, and I feel like it is so unfair that I would have to tell my children how to act and respond when they're stopped by police. And I tell them, and I've told them before, and every now and then when things get kind of crazy, I'll tell them again, your job is to survive the encounter. That's what your job is. Your job isn't to prove the police officer wrong. Your job isn't to prove him right. Your job isn't to show him the error of his ways, convince him, convict him. Your job is simply survive the encounter. You survive the encounter, mommy and daddy will take up the rest if we need to. And they're adults. And I tell them that because I want them to survive the encounter. I want to survive the encounter. Like, I remember that I've been stopped, and like, even before his lights went on, my heart was racing, my legs were weak, my breathing was like shallow. It was crazy. And the officer was nice, sort of. But even before he even walked up to the car, my mom was like, because my mom was in the car with me. Matter of fact, I got a speeding ticket, is what it was. And I was driving my mom's car, and it was here in Texas. And
sure she was mad.
And my mom was like, just tell him that, you're just now driving my car and you got to get used to it. Because, when you're driving a different car, you got to get used to the acceleration and things like that. And we had literally just gotten on the interstate. And before he even got to my window, I told my mom, don't get offended, guys. I was like, he's 2 feet tall. He has on a cowboy hat and spurs. He's giving me a ticket. He's giving me a ticket. Like there's no way to get out of it. And so my mom was like, well, just try it. As soon as I rolled down the window, his tone wasn't comforting, nice, warm, welcome, whatever you want to call it. His tone was not that. His tone was, just give me what I asked for and shut up. And that's exactly what I did. I gave it to him. And then when I'm calling to find out, how much is my ticket and things like that, and the lady told me, I'm like, wait a minute. My ticket was $275.
Wow, how fast were you going? Oh.
I think I was going like maybe 75 in a 60.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the crazy thing. I get up there and I'm getting ready to pay my ticket. And I was like, I just want it to be over with. And the lady that was supposed to take my money was very nice and was like, well, before I take your money, you don't want to go to the class? Like the class is like $100 and then it's not on your record and something else. I was like, what class? And then she said, the officer didn't tell you? No.
Of course not.
Not that it's his responsibility. However, I've talked with other people and the officer has told them you can either pay the ticket or you can possibly go to the class, but you'll need to call to verify that you're able to do it. Now, mind you, I couldn't go to the class. And I couldn't go to the class not because of traffic tickets, not because of anything. I couldn't go to the class because at that time I did not have a Texas driver's license. My driver's license was still out of the state of Illinois.
Okay.
So I couldn't go to the class. But I was like, well, can y'all at least give me an opportunity to get a Texas license and then take the class? And she said, you know, some states will allow you to do it. Unfortunately, Texas is not one of those. Or she may have said some jurisdictions, unfortunately, and then she named the jurisdiction, is not one of those.
Okay.
So I was like, oh man, darn. But it infuriates me that I even have to tell my children that when you're stopped by the police to let down all windows. It infuriates me that I tell them that once you let down all 4 windows, you put your hands on the steering wheel. When they ask for license, registration, and proof of insurance, repeat that back to them and then ask for permission to move. When you ask for permission to move, also let them know where you're going to move to. Me personally, I don't drive with my purse in the front seat. I drive with my purse in the back seat. Now I put my license in my
visor.
Yes, now I do, but at that time I never did. So now what I tell them is, okay, my license is clipped onto, because I have a little, it's like a guardian angel that my mom gave me when I first started driving. And it says never drive faster than your guardian angel can fly. So that's the little ribbon that goes across in it. It's a little clippy. So that's where my license is. And I always tell them, my license is clipped behind this angel. Can I get it? 9 times out of 10, oh yes, not a problem. One officer told my daughter, yes, you can get your registration out of your glove compartment. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. I completely understand that it's a safety thing for them, but where do you normally keep your registration and proof of insurance? I keep mine in my glove box.
It's just all dumb, but
like
it's
I shouldn't
coming
even
from a damn party.
And for this baby to be killed, 15 years old, I cannot imagine what his parents are going through. I can't imagine what his brothers are going through. His brothers were in the car. I think it was a brother and a friend, or maybe a brother and a cousin. It doesn't matter. It was a car full of kids.
Yeah, it was a couple of friends, because it was a couple of twins who were witnesses.
And his brothers.
And his brother, yeah.
Now I know for a fact that at least one of those children in the car was his brother, but I think it was 2 of them. But yeah. The officer lied about the incident. Why lie, dude? And that leads to a completely different topic about body cams, but you lied about it. You shot into the car. The car was moving away from you. You took a life. And I know so many people that say it's us against the cops. No, it's us against bad cops.
I mean, not all policemen are bad. I've said it many times.
No,
there are some decent ones. I've had friends who've been in police.
There are some great ones. I have a couple of friends that are in law enforcement. I love them to death. I text them on the regular, stay safe. On the regular, I text them, stay safe. I know their shifts. I know when they're working. One of them, I know his wife. Me and his wife, I'll text her from time to time. But him and I talk more than me and her. And I'm constantly saying, dude, just stay safe. Because people will shoot you just because of the uniform. You have a family to get home to as well. But it's such a sad thing. And I live close to Balch Springs. Like in 10 minutes, I can be in Balch Springs. That's how close I live. So for it to be so close is even more terrifying. I mean, it's like finding out that George Zimmerman is driving on the interstate through our city. Like when that...
He probably is.
No, kid you not, he was.
I'm not sure.
I live right off of I-80, close to downtown Dallas. George Zimmerman was stopped a few miles away by a police department and they let him go. But when I seen it, I told my son, "You are not allowed to drive." Like I took that away from him.
You can't do that.
I
And
took
see,
it away from him
this
for a little
is.
bit. I was terrified. I mean, and that's just a natural gut reaction as a parent. Now he zigzags all around the
I
city.
understand, but it's just like this is where I have a problem with the administration and how they handle things,
Uh-huh.
and how the police department heads handle things. Like, and I wish there was someone who like could relay this message to somebody. Doubt, mind you, I'm nobody, so why listen to me? But this is the thing: when you breed that type of mentality that if something happens, we have to protect the brotherhood instead of protecting laws and people's rights. This is where the whole us against them thing starts to develop and boil over, because you are protecting someone who not only didn't do their job properly, but they've committed a crime. Just because he wears that shield and that uniform does not absolve him, or it should not absolve him or her of being accountable for their actions in the eyes of the law. But it's been developed that they have to protect each other and all of that. And even the government now feels like they need, certain parts of the government feels like we need to protect law enforcement and military and absolve them from certain actions. It's just a part of the job. It's a consequence. Leave them alone. They're doing work to protect you. So what if one of them slips up and does something? It's okay. That type of mentality is wrong. It shouldn't exist. And it's the type of mentality that breeds people's hostility and fear towards them, to where, again, the separation, us against them. If you want people to respect and not be afraid of the law, you have to show that the law is not only there to protect and serve, but when they mess up, they take their responsibility and take correct actions. They don't just hide behind their, their agency. They don't hide behind who they are, what they're supposed to stand for. No one should be absolved or above the law. But but until that attitude is changed, it's just gonna always be like that. And it's sad because you're sitting here not wanting your son to drive, which is sad. Like, so now we can't live. We can't live life because we have to sit here and be extremely cautious of, again, an agency that's supposed to be there for us as citizens. You know, it's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous.
But
And
it's
exasperating.
But it's not just fear of my son driving. So here's the crazy thing. In case you're listening to us on a podcast and you can't see me, haha, I am a Black woman. So it's not just my son, it's anybody that looks like me.
Yeah, I agree.
Or female. It's anybody that, and now sometimes it's not even people that look like me. And I remember, so we had this discussion in one of my classes when I was getting my undergrad degree, and we were talking about police shootings, and there was a guy in my class that said, now mind you, I'm normally the only female in my class, and I'm normally the only Black in my class. So during this conversation, we were talking about the law, technology, how we can help the law move a little bit quicker, things like that. And one of my counterparts brought up the law, technology, law enforcement, and police shooting of minorities. And he had this really good presentation about it. It was phenomenal. And one of my other counterparts, at the end of the presentation, you do question and answer.
Right.
He had like statistics on police shootings and all that. So I'm sitting in the back of the class because at that time we had to sit in the order that we were going to present. And I wasn't presenting that week. I think I was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks away. So I've had to sit in the back. So one of my counterparts asked a question, and his question was this. And mind you, before he made his comment, he looked back there and he said, "Katina, I'm so sorry if this offends you." So that's telling me that the next thing out of his mouth, I'm going to be offended.
It's going to offend you.
So he says, "What is the big deal with Blacks saying Black Lives Matter? And what is the big deal about Blacks in police shootings?" So, and mind you, that when he first started saying it, I was looking down like this because I'm like writing notes. But once he said, "Katina, I don't want this to offend you," I instantly just looked up. And so I asked him, I said, "So are you asking me this specifically? Is it a rhetorical question? Are you asking me because you want everybody else to chime in? Like what is your intent here? Because I need to know where we're going so that I can proceed the best way that I know how." And what he said was, "No, I'm asking you specifically." He said, and then I also want to know what you think about so-and-so's presentation. I said, "Well, let me address the presentation first. I think it was a great presentation. I think that the facts and figures presented were pretty much on par with what I've seen, read, or researched for myself. So I don't have any issues with that." I said, "Now, as far as me personally, you want to know why we're saying that Black Lives Matter?" I said, "You're probably one of the people that says all lives matter. Is that correct?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, great." And I said, "Imagine this. We live next door to each other. Your house is on fire. The fire department comes because you've been trying to call them. They're not answering your calls. Another concerned citizen calls. They answer the call. And as they're coming down the street, before they get to your house, I jump out and I say, 'All houses matter.' What are you going to tell me?" And he cursed, but he said, "What I'm going to say is F you. My house is on fire." I said, "Point proven." And I went back to writing my notes. And so he said, "Well, what does that mean?" I said, "Just as a Black American, our house is on fire. And when we were dialing 911, nobody's listening. So now that other people are starting to dial 911 and we're starting to get some traction and we're starting to get people to see that our house is on fire, the last thing we need is for you to jump out of your house and say all houses matter. Either get out the way and let us do it on our own and let the fire truck come through, or when the fire truck comes, grab a hose and help us put the fire out." Simple as that. If you don't want to grab a hose and you feel like you need to jump in, that's not what we need. I would prefer for you to just go back in your house. That's what I want.
Back like you don't care.
Go back in your house. Go back in your house and do what people do 9 times out of 10. When the firemen or the police are outside your house and you don't want to go out there because you don't want to look like a nosy neighbor, what do? You peek.
Close the windows.
Right. So peek through the window if you must, but don't jump in front of the fire truck. And certainly don't come over there and throw gas on the fire. I don't know if I reached him because like the whole class was silent. Like you could, because I mean, what can you say to that? And he goes, "Oh, okay." Turns back around and sits down. And then the professor was like, "Does anybody have any questions about the presentation. And then everybody was like, oh, yeah, well, what about this statistic? What about that statistic? What about this statistic? And then I think the last thing I said was this. I said, I'm not agreeing with the statistics because they're skewed in Blacks' favor. I said, but I know that some people are going to say, well, those statistics seem high. Those statistics seem just out of the norm. And what I told them is this: if you have 100 people and 10% of that 100 is going to be 10 people. If you have 10 people, 10% of that statistic is going to be 1.
Right.
It's still 10%, but it looks bigger to have 10 people than 1 person. So on the grand mass scale of population, we are disproportionately being killed at a higher rate than the other races. Now, I'll give it to you that maybe whites, I'm just making up a number, maybe 1,000 of them have been killed, and maybe 175 of Blacks have been killed, but it's still the rate and the percentage, and we're at a minority.
So you do know that is actually the realistic type of breakdown, because if you actually, which is free domain people, if you get the yearly FBI crime reports and you look at the breakdowns, it does break down like that. The percentage of white Americans compared to other races is considerably lower. But if you look at the number of murders, in some cases it's higher. Or even if it's higher in, minority rates, it's in comparison to a smaller group, because remember, everybody else is the minority. So there's far less. Just like I saw one, it was a weird number, but one group was like at an over 50, not an over 50% rate, but over 30% rate. It was like, well, out of all the people that they categorized in that population, it's not a lot. It was something like American Samoans or something living in this country, or something weird, something off that made it look like really, really bad. But it's just like, well, if you populate that only a certain amount lives here, yeah, it's going to look high. That's just how it is. But it's going to skew. But no, a couple of years at least over the last 5 years, if not more, and not every year. Now that I think of it, it's been, I haven't looked at 2016s, but generally speaking, more whites kill more whites than they do any other race.
But in response to that, it's kind of like,
my point is, you know how they're always screaming black on black crime. Look at how you guys do each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing each other just the same, if not more so. But
whenever they say that, I always tell them blacks kill blacks because what are they around normally?
And that is what the reports generally say, that most people, when it comes to crimes within a community, it's because it's close proximity. It's who you're around. Most people don't necessarily go out of their way. Most people are going to go cross town to go to another population and commit a crime. They're going to deal within their neighborhood.
So that's the word I was looking for, proximity. It's no different than like race. If your child attends a predominantly white or black school, their friends are going to be predominantly white or black. So therefore, their culture is going to be what they are generally around. Yeah. For instance, my babies, military brats, military bases, military mostly, more diverse than like an off-base school. So to end up going to an off-base school, they're not going to see as much diversity,
Yeah.
which is going to be different for them. When we moved to Texas, they went to a predominantly white school. It wasn't unfamiliar territory because when we were in Montana, where they started their school careers, it was mostly white because they went to an off-base school. Then when we moved to different bases and they went to school on base, it was more diverse. So then to go from mostly white to when we lived in Little Rock, Arkansas, mostly blacks, and then Nebraska was diverse, but not as diverse as they were used to. St. Louis, the same thing, diverse, not as diverse as they were used to. And then to come to Texas, predominantly white, whoa, culture shock. So yeah, so I feel really bad for this baby and his family. The family has an amazing attorney.
Oh, that guy is. Hopefully, he's gonna pay for it in some way. He needs to be prosecuted, and so he could set a precedent. But
well, I want to say that in Texas history, I mean, it's been 30, 40, 50 years or however long it's been, but this will not be the first case in history where a law enforcement officer has been convicted of murder. Now, I don't know the circumstances of that conviction, but I know that it won't be the first one. I also know that the family, like I said, they have an amazing civil rights attorney, which I follow him on Twitter and then I follow him on Facebook because he gives great insight to what is going on. And he's actually made me more aware of just the whole dynamics of it, not just of this last baby's case, but just of civil rights as a whole, as far as the law. Because, of course, you know, my niche is the law and technology. So now I'm getting to see another side of the law, and I'm like, oh, wow, I had no idea. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's just a sad thing. So you guys make sure that when you're out there driving, whether you're black, white, green, blue, purple, whatever, make sure that you're staying safe. Like that's the main thing. As I tell my babies, I will tell you guys, your job is to survive the encounter. That's it. You can get an attorney prayerfully to fight on your behalf. But first and foremost, your job is to survive the encounter. And I tell my babies all the time, I would rather come visit you in jail or prison than to visit a graveyard.
Yeah, that's
so.
I mean, I can understand that. It's still just, it's just saddening that this is the way we have to live our lives.
What else?
Oh well. Well, we were going to talk about the healthcare, but it's starting to get late, and
yeah, because I'm hungry.
I haven't eaten. I actually came straight home to do this. I have to do laundry. I have to do homework. I have to stream because I am now building the streaming thing.
Building what?
Stream, live stream.
Stream. Oh.
Yes, live stream.
Is your room clean?
No, not really. It was fine until I got back to work. Seriously. The problem is I just throw my clothes on the floor and stuff like that.
Okay. You know what? I'm not going to say anything because I don't need you sending me.
But you will be proud of me, though, because all through my vacation, I did major spring cleaning. I actually, I could see my floor. Even if you take my clothes up, the floor exists. So that's the thing. It's not like super garbage like it was, because I realized something. I've inherited my mom and my grandmother's, um, proficiency at being a pack rat.
Oh my gosh.
And thankfully, I've inherited my mom's pack ratness because my mom isn't as bad as my grandmother. My grandmother's house, good Lord, you would not spend 5 minutes in my grandmother's house. The way my aunt keeps that, it's the worst. She's the type of person who keeps like just every small tidbit. She probably has wrapping paper from a present from 1950. That's how much of a pack rat she is. Um, but it was like with me, I'm more like my mom. It's like if I replace a piece of equipment or something like that, I even if the old one still worked, I would keep it for some reason. And me being a tech freak, I looked in my closet. I kid you not. Anybody who's into tech will know this, but I've had like Nvidia hasn't been making graphics cards for that long. Graphics cards were
Love Nvidia.
pretty much basically became a staple in computers in the mid 90s. I had one of the first video cards that had been made still in my closet.
Are you kidding me?
I kid you not.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to say anything because our last show, I showed you some of my iPhones. This year, iPhones have been out 10 years. I mean, I don't have the very first iPhone, but I do have some old ones. And now that you say that about that graphics card, I want to say, I know I don't have any in this house because I haven't built a computer in forever. Because I've been Mac since 2010, maybe 2011. So I haven't built a computer in maybe 10 years. So I don't think I have any old computer parts. But
I had 5 graphics cards.
Are you kidding me?
5 graphics cards. I had some of the original DIMM memory chips.
No way.
Remember when remember when they first came out in 256 was the Max? Yeah. I had those in my closet.
Whoa.
Kid you not. I had all that stuff sitting in there. Just parts from everywhere. Old power cords. Remember the old how you used to when people didn't do wireless printers, how they had to get that like weird USB to printer cord. I had about 4 or 5 of those. Ton of Ethernet cables. If you need an Ethernet cable, I think I kept those because I was like sometimes they break. So if you need an Ethernet cable, holla at your boy. He has it in different lengths.
Now that I am a pack rat, like I am so embarrassed. But in the bottom drawer of my desk, let me look and see. I have like cord craziness that I really.
Now I had to throw away some of those cords because I had like old laptop cords for laptops that don't exist.
This is fencing to blow your mind. So I am forever buying stuff and thinking that I'm going to use it, right? And so then it ends up being put up somewhere, right? So I just look down here at my cords and I see a lot of, wait a minute, what's this? Oh, okay, that's empty. Okay, but look at what I just found. This is for an iPhone 6.
Oh, don't feel bad. I found
what?
A holster for my razor.
Oh, that's throwback for real.
So yes, don't feel bad. I found stuff like that for like the original first Samsung Galaxy stuff. I found cases that I had. Oh Jesus! What else did I find? I found some old stuff that I used to collect comic books as a kid. I had these trading cards. I found those. They're from 1992.
See, I keep tech stuff.
No, it's like, but I do too, or I keep books. Like I have magazines that I don't know why I have.
So I keep books because sometimes I want to go back and read them. Though I'm looking at my bookshelf. When we moved, I was like, no, I'm giving away most of my books. I'm just gonna have like a little small bookshelf. It's maybe 4 feet tall, has like 4 shelves on it, but I have my accounting book on here. I'm never going to use that. I hate accounting. I know I'm never going to use that. I have my art history book. I'm never going to use that. Webster's Dictionary, never going to use that because I'm going to look up.
Well, yeah, we have the internet now.
Well, wait a minute. That's not necessarily true because I read the dictionary from time to time. So that's not true. But
you need the updated version, though. Come on.
Well, I mean, maybe.
Yes, you did. Oh, I found certification books.
Look at this. This is so hilarious. Are you ready?
Go ahead. Say something so I can see.
Oh, you can't see it? Can you see it?
Yes, I see.
Really?
But no, I found CCNA books from a decade ago.
Now, okay, wait a minute. Let me see. This is telling me that I need to clean off my bookshelf since I'm talking about you. Oh my gosh. Remember the manual to write research papers? I have like 4 of those.
Yeah, I got, oh my God. What else was I finding in there? I actually found some stuff I didn't even know I still had, like USB keys that I thought I had lost or dropped.
Now, this is a book that some of these American public folks need to have. You ready? This. Can you see it?
You know, I used that book back in college in 98.
The same book?
Yes, that's
yes.
That damn thing is that old. Okay.
Okay, wait a minute.
What edition is that? Because I remember when I worked at a college bookstore, we used to sell that back in the 90s.
This is the 2004-2005 edition.
Okay, so it's not that.
Yeah, this is 2004-2005.
I need to see if I still got those VHS tapes too.
Now that I know I don't have. But what else?
I can still have my Braveheart on tape.
And you know what? No, I don't have any certification books, which I'm shocked. Because like when I was studying for my A+ certification, I remember buying every book known to man because I thought the more books I got, the more prepared I'd be for the certification exam. Totally not true. Now, of course, I'm trying to get my CISB certification. So that's a big deal. But I have a calculator manual on my bookshelf. Why?
I had an old calculator from the 80s in there too.
Well, now I want to know if it's the calculator. Oh, this is certainly not the same calculator that I used for statistics. If this is the same calculator, I'm going to be like, what? No. Close though. The calculator is a TI-89. The book is for a TI-85. That's crazy.
I wish I still had mine, to be quite honest.
Had your what?
A TI-80.
Why?
Which one did I have? Because those are good calculators still.
Well, maybe, but
shoot, you know what? I could have used that when doing graphing.
Let me see if it still works.
But yeah, no, I've thrown away a lot of stuff. You could sit on my couch now.
Yes, sit on the couch.
You can walk. There's places to walk at.
Do you have carpet in your house?
Yes, I do. It needs to be changed though, because I've been in this apartment for so long.
I think that the filthiest people should not have carpet. I think
No,
if
you
your
shouldn't, because this thing is like black, and I think it was beige when I first.
I think that if you are filthy, you need to get hardwood floors.
I would prefer hardwood floors anyway, because it's just more comfortable. That's just me. But yeah, I'll shampoo it. It's just I've been in this apartment for almost 10 years, so it needs to be changed. But yeah, I got a forever jump. Forever jump. Anyway, but yes, I did clean, so you should be happy.
I'm proud of you. Thank you so much, bro.
No problem. Now all I need to do is keep it that way. Hopefully, maybe.
You will. And you know why?
No.
Because
Why?
doesn't it feel good to have a clean house?
I
No,
guess.
maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I do need to wash this though. So.
I sleep better in a clean bed. I feel better in a clean house. And when I tell you that I know some people with some dirty houses, I do. And if I have,
That's what I need to do. I need to dust because I didn't have time to. I
but
kept
if I
forgetting to
have to
go get some
pop,
dust and stuff. That's what
but
I
if I
need
have
to
to pop something to keep me calm or take a shot before I walk in your house, that's a problem because your
do.
house.
Okay, well, I mean, they make Benadryl. Won't itch.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Don't send me nothing. Forgive me.
I'm not gonna send any more garbage pictures.
They make
That wrong.
Benadryl. Oh my goodness.
Yes, but anyway, let's get the hell out of here. You need to eat. I need to eat. I need to watch. I need to do a million things. Jesus, I hate.
If you took the time to do a little bit each day, then you would not need to do so much in one day. And be
No, because like I said, it's not just that. It's like, okay, I need to do laundry. That's important, of course. And of course, daily homework. I always got to do that. Like I said, I'm doing live streaming more. So while that's not a need, that's something that's helping out because I got affiliated on Twitch. So now I feel kind of obligated to try to build and grow that more now that they're starting to let me earn revenue for streaming.
Nice. And hey, for our next podcast, YouTube show, whatever you want to call it, we got to get cardiac sumo. That's what I want to do.
Okay, so you want to do it for the next episode. All right, I'll hit him up and see what his availability is.
Yeah.
And then that'll be good for me because I can sit back and close my eyes and let y'all just go off for 2 hours.
Yeah, because I just got an email that I want to ask him about. So.
Okay, so next episode will be the geek session. Awesome.
Yes.
What else?
I'm excited.
Yeah, I know. Way too excited. Anyway.
Whatever.
Oh, that's gonna wrap it up. I'm done. I'm tired. Shit. I gotta be up at 5:30 in the morning. And I gotta do all this stuff, so it's not gonna be pretty. Thank you to everybody who watched, who listens, of course. If you don't want to watch the YouTube video, you can always check us out on YouTube. Not YouTube. This is YouTube. This is how tired I am. On Stitcher, Google Play Music, iTunes, and SoundCloud. All of those are free to subscribe to. You can just subscribe. You can download the audio format and take it on the go with you. We do this every week, so feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel and to all of those so you can catch us on a weekly basis. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Now that I'm affiliated, hopefully my plan for that is that hopefully if I do end up generating any income, I could put it into these podcasts and add stuff like logos and things like that. Of course, you want to help support. We do have a Patreon. And I forgot to pull up that person's name because somebody actually did subscribe to the Patreon last week.
Well, pull them up and give them props.
So yeah, let me do that now before I forget.
Yeah, do it now. See, if you guys subscribe to me and gave me
Brittany Smith, thank you for pledging.
okay, Brittany Smith. Hey,
appreciate you. So yeah, you can do that if you can help us out. So I can build the website, all that good stuff. In fact, I need to talk to you about the website one of these days. But I think that's it. So, Katina, the floor is yours. Say farewell to the people.
bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. I had something to say. I don't even remember what it was. Oh no, it was something geeky. Never mind. I'll tell you. Huh?
Go ahead.
No, it was something geeky I was going to tell you. I was going to tell you about Alexa, and now she can call and send messages. See?
Oh, Lord.
I told you.
Which reminds me, I need to see what the fuck this Bixby shit is. They keep trying to get me to try. Oh my God. All these voice things that things have. And then why is Alexa on my Kindle Fire?
Well, don't you want her?
I've turned on my Kindle Fire the other day and they were like, hey, Alexa is on here. Talk to her now. I'm like, I don't want to talk to this chick.
Whatever.
I really don't. Like, I'm confused. Why you got her on my... I use that for my school books. I don't... Nah.
Well, I don't have a Kindle. I have an iPad. But I do use Kindle for iPad, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's just Amazon putting their stuff everywhere. That's all.
Oh.
Okay, Alexa.
So can I have your login? Do you have Amazon Prime?
Yes, I do.
So you get unlimited books?
Yes, I do.
Can I use your sign in?
Yeah, okay.
Whoop, whoop, yes.
Because you got to think, because I'm a student, I get it at half price anyway, so I don't pay the full $100. Bam.
Okay.
So yeah, I only had to pay $45.
You know, can you add people? Like, do they have
They
that yet?
don't do that like that anymore.
They freaking suck.
Yeah. They took that because they knew people were starting to take advantage of that shit. Of course, if you grandfathered in when they started it, you're still on people's stuff and you can get the free shipping, but that's it. Just the free shipping.
That just sucks. But okay, let's go ahead and get out of here. Hey, people. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. So I'm still in my motivational phase. If you have any motivational quotes, sayings, memes, or anything like that, feel free to send them to me on Twitter. My Twitter address is @IamKatinaJ, or you can send it to the email that'll be linked below, or you can DM them to Mike. Either way, because I am starting my starting to do my planner for next year, and I make stickies with motivational quotes, motivational sayings, and then I stick them all throughout my planner. So every day I have a new quote. So in 3 months, when the planner has started and I'm looking, then when I get up that morning, I flip to that day, take the motivational quote. Y'all get the gist. So send me your motivational quotes or favorite Bible scriptures. I'll take those too.
Okay. Cool.
Mike is going to send me his favorite Bible scriptures. I'll let y'all know what they are. Mm-hmm. Really?
I could tell you now. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hell enough as it is.
Yes, you are.
Because I want to quote Pastor Troy song, but I'm going to leave that.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm just saying, what if heaven was hell and vice versa?
Touche.
I love that song. I'm going to go listen
and
to
it doesn't matter what faith you are. I like all Bible scriptures. Or, I've had a couple of people, which is really weird, because I've never even told you guys this, but have sent me I don't know what they're called in the Quran. Are they scriptures?
I'm sure they use the same.
Okay. So they've sent me, I'll say verbiage. They've sent me verbiage from the Quran, and I've been very enlightened. And so I'm actually going to go buy a Quran. Oh,
please don't get yourself put on the list.
Maybe I can download one.
I was just about to say, I guess that's why you're going to take my Amazon, because
yes,
I believe all the Bibles are free on Amazon, on the Kindle.
Glory. I'll take it.
So, yeah.
But you guys have a great week. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. And Mike?
Yes.
Any parting words?
Yes, you guys have a great one. Thank you again. Appreciate you for supporting our little podcast here. And we will see you next time. I'm going to go take a nap, and then no, I can't take a nap. It's 8 o'clock. God damn it! I want to go wash clothes.
All right, going to hell. I'm going to pray for him.
It's fine. I'll go with clean clothes, and they'll be cool. I can just sit around in my underwear. So they'll be clean. Nobody will say nothing about me.
No comment.
Mm-hmm. All right, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.